West Wednesday, 633. Justice for Tyrone West and justice for all victims of police brutality. Tawanda, it's all you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, guys, you don't want to miss this very important West Wednesday. And I urge you as we get ready to play this video that we play every week, that you might, if you need to get a pen, a paper, a pad, anything to write down notes, because this is very important. I have my beautiful warrior queen sister in Q. Well, you see her beautiful face now, but she's going to be sharing very important information with us and everything, because the fight is not over till it's over, and it's not over. We a long way. We got a long way to go. So with that being said, we're going to play the video of one of the first killer cops that pulled my brother over, Killer Ruiz, that we play every week when we're online. So we're going to go to the video and we'll be right back. Mic check.
Mic check.
Can't stop, won't stop, till killer cops are in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No, why would you say that?
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz. In a video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one: concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here, Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly, picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog-tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck. I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to Daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, I said, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way.
You gonna tell me my job, bro?
I know the law.
Are you gonna tell me the law?
I know the law.
You gonna tell me the law?
I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration?
Yeah, let me get it.
Profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
Do me a favor, take out your keys.
Yeah, you can record me. For what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I'm about to do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are two law-abiding citizens that we are getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardez Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 and 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
All right, we're back.
Wow.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I want to just like that video, even though I watch it every week. Today it really did something to me, and especially since we're talking about like, you know, tonight we're going to be talking about trying to push for laws that we should have been had. Like, we shouldn't even have to be doing this. Like, murder is murder. There's no time limit on it or anything. And it just seems like the harder we fight, the more we get set back. And it's just not right. Because all I think about is that horrible day when my brother was murdered. And literally, this could have been prevented. Because if you see the last victim right before 24 hours, the route, you see that killer cop Ruiz pulling him over and the person that he was riding with over, and he's telling him, I don't feel safe right now. He's letting him know this is being uploaded to the internet right now. He put it on social media, and I believe that's what saved his life. But with all that being said, my brother still was able to be pulled over, brutalized, murdered. Literally, one unarmed man by 17 or more cops beat to death in broad daylight. Video footage that we still never obtained to this day. And then the fact that the medical examiners played a big role into my brother not getting a crucial role to my brother not getting accountability. Because at the time when we had Greg Bernstein, the prosecutor in office, he literally said he was basing his findings on the medical examiner's office, and because they ruled my brother's death undetermined, they pretty much just swept it under the rug and said, we're not going to prosecute any killer cops in this case. And it broke my heart. And I'm just like devastated. And then I done met so many people in this fight, because I've been in this fight for decades, 12 years now. 12 years now, 633 weeks. That's a very long time to be doing anything. As you can see, I'm not even home from work yet. Like, teacher, work all day hard. I should be able to go home, relax, get my mind together. But however, life is life, and I can't stop this fight. Like, I done literally, with this fight, then sacrificed lots of things, relationships, jobs, all type of stuff. But one thing I won't sacrifice is my soul. One thing I won't sacrifice is I won't sell myself out, and I won't sell my people out. But my whole point in this fight, I done met so many powerful moms, fathers, and then of all, like, even if they're not fighting for police brutality, but we're all in this one fight, and it's all together. It's conjuncted and combined together. You can't put it off and push this over here. It's all together. And we talk about the medical examiner's office, and we talk about a mother losing their child. Like, Tyrone West was my big brother. He was like a father figure to me. I wouldn't, God forbid, want to imagine. Like I told you, we had Dante's mother on last week, And you know, this beautiful sister was on, and she shared with you how her son was murdered. And then the crazy part, he had a birthday the next day after West Wednesday. And Dante should be here. None of a man that was literally in a crisis crying for help. He called, as his mother said, call the police, you know, if you need help, and they can get you to the hospital, and then I'll come, the family come. And that didn't happen in this case. They murdered him. And then the crazy part, it was early similar to how my brother was murdered. The hog tie position, all of that. You know, so but with that being said, but for any mother to lose their child or any father, my heart goes out. And I'm thinking about Michael Brown. And the reason why I'm talking about Michael Brown, we know he lost his son. But just this week, literally, one of the fourth, I know y'all know how they was killing people in Ferguson. That's a whole nother conversation. But they were killing all the front line people that were fighting. And for me to literally learn one of the brothers that was literally there with Michael Brown was murdered, murdered this week. Like, heartbreaking, devastating. You cannot make this stuff up. It's sickening. And then I think about things like my memories that keep showing up in my profile literally on this day. This is a horrible day. Because not only does this day mark when the car that my brother got, that was my green Mercedes Benz, that literally got you know, in a car crash that I believe someone was trying to kill me. I told you this white lady who I believe they sent her because literally this lady was stalking me for 3 weeks before she crashed into my car. And I thank God she didn't kill me. Like, I'm in the street, she's coming at me, and then she missed me. I jump back, then she circled the block. I go back in the hair store to get hair products because my nerves is messed up at this point. I'm like, let me go back. Maybe I'm just tripping. I go back and like, let me grab some cupcakes because I know I'm going to be at the hair salon all night type of thing. I go grab some, and because I was shocked that the hair store had cupcakes, so I go grab me some goodies. And I come back out, and the same car is coming down the street again, and this time she was coming towards me, and she couldn't do it, and she literally crashed into my green Mercedes Benz. Her hands were in the air wailing. Her feet were wrapped around the steering wheel. But when I told people, they were like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" And then the eerie part about they had white, but like they had sergeants and stuff like that. They didn't have regular police officers, and they were from Northeast District. I wasn't nowhere near Northeast District. I was way somewhere else, but officers from Northeast District was at the scene, white shirts. White shirts were at the scene, and they told me they wouldn't give me no information. As if a regular traffic accident, you exchange identifications, ID, insurance information. They got my ID. I'm like, can I get her stuff? Because she hit my car. Like, my car was total on the spot, gone. I wasn't worried about that. You know, I was more so worried about, you know, I got to get to work. I'm still teaching. You know, I was at a different school. I'm like, I got to go to work tomorrow. You know, thank God I was in her. It doesn't look like she was hurt. You know, thank God no one was hurt. But then they told me something that was weird. They said, well, come down to Northeast Police District at midnight so we can give you the police report. And I'm scratching my head like, why would I go to the district that every week I'm doing West Wednesday, calling killer cops out? Y'all want me to come into a police district for a police report? That, like, what? I thought you go online type of thing, and kind of found out it was a whole setup. I never went there. When I did go, like 3 days later, and I had my Facebook Live with me. I went on a Sunday. I went after church. I'm like, I'm going in here, guys, and that video will be coming up soon too on my Facebook if they have any race, and I'll be sharing that with you. But I literally took my phone and I went to Northeast District, and at that time they said, I don't know why they told you that. You can go online for $14, and I'm like, are you? And then the crazy part, and I'll leave it there, and I'm gonna bring my guests on. But the crazy part was, I paid $14 for a thorough report. I got flimsy, like a half a page of information that all it said was car A hit car B and car C and car D, and I'm like, what? That was it. Bland. Then I started protesting again at Northeast District, where Worthless Worley was the commander, lieutenant, whatever the hell he was. He was working there. And long story short, Uncle Bill went in there with his white privilege. Thank God I'm a black woman. I can use my white friend's white privilege. You know, he went in there and he was able to get the real uncut version of the report that I paid for. It was my car. He got a total different report that said how she had her legs wrapped around the steering wheel. Her hands was welling in the air. It had details how she took some type of pill at work called the Scooby snack or some foolishness I never heard of because I don't do drugs, don't smoke, don't drink. So whatever a Scooby snack or a Scooby whatever it was, but it was something leading to a Scooby snack pill that she took and it made her freak out. But it was just weird. But I said all this to say this is how we get treated. The retaliation is real. So when I tell you people be showing up at my house, doing stuff, sending me threats and all that, and this is the day that this happened, literally. And then this is also the day that when literally, and I'm praying for my sister, Adina, that Killer Ruiz ran up in her house and held her and her son and family, her ex, hostage, pretty much, had them in her house for an illegal raid because they were a part of the gun trade task force. That is something different. But our hearts are heavy. There's a lot going on. And then I heard, I ain't even make it home yet. I heard somebody got assassinated on by it's just a lot going on. So with that being said, I'm all over the place, but I just had to share that. But the mother that I have on tonight, and this is Kathy's mom, and I wanted to know how you wanted me to introduce you. What do you want us to call you? Because I'm gonna throw Doctor, Reverend, whatever, but you might don't want to be there tonight. So what do you prefer that we call you, my queen?
How do you say? I answered to several things. You can call me Reverend
I'm
Morris.
sorry, you faded out. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I said, well, you can call me Reverend Morris, or you can call me Marguerite. Whatever works. Whatever works.
Okay.
Whatever depends on where you at. There are some environments. If you call me a Reverend, I would shut you down and say, "Hush up." Because I want people to be themselves, and we're all the same in serving, and.
Okay, well, thank you, Reverend Morris, because y'all always know I call her my beautiful warrior queen. But Reverend Morris is here tonight, and she's been fighting really hard for her daughter Kathy's law, and that's all connected with my brother. Like literally, with them reopen my brother case. I feel like because we've been throwing the medical examiner's office out there for years, and what this mob been pushing in Annapolis, all of it's intertwined together to get us accountability. So no further ado, I'm going to bring my beautiful sister on. It's all yours, my queen. You can talk and tell us any and everything you want to tell us. Mic check.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because you truly are an encouragement. You truly are. I mean, you're like my star, and your power and your tenacity and your passion.
I'm sorry, Queen. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Can you hear Rachel?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, because at first I couldn't hear you.
I'm wondering what's happening with your not being. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure all the audience is listening to you. So yes, I can hear you now.
No, I was saying that how much of an encouragement you are to me, and how much I've been blessed by your strength, and glad to support. Can you hear that?
Oh yes, I hear you loud and clear now. Thank you.
Okay, and it's an honor to be here. So thank you for having me. Yes, these things tie together, and you really kind of, I'm going to say you jacked me up when you showed that video, because I have been so passionate about the struggle of my sisters and brothers. I've been so passionate, and that has made my voice in Maryland. And I tell you, this interview or this talk here is going to be different than this morning's, because I feel my strength, and I feel my conviction, and I feel my passion. And I fight, for impacted people. That's who I am. I've always been that way. So to see that the videos that you showed, and to know the reality that is a real deal, to know that these things really happen and people are really going through this, and to also know that in some of our circles, people don't want to hear the voices. I know that you're an annoyance in Baltimore, and I'm an annoyance probably everywhere I go in Maryland, because it's about people. It's about seeing what we see and speaking truth to that. It's about not wanting people, using our pain to help others, to impact the lives of others. And in it, I know you're not rich and I'm not rich, but because of our tenacity, because of our determination, we can be an example to others that you can cause change, because you have done some amazing things. You really have. And I admire that. I know the work and the labor that it takes. So again, I saw that. I would, when I was in Maryland, I get the videos, and I get the calls. and we're playing the videos and we're seeing the wrong that's being done and knowing that it's real. And I've just seen so much. So yes, I am the mother of Catherine Morris, and Kathy died in 2012. Her body was found at Arundel Mills Mall. She died of carbon monoxide toxicity from grills lit in her car. And if one would ask, well, with the way that other persons have died at the hands of police, how does this relate? It's because something I've said for a long time: if you don't like or whatever, you don't like anything about them. And I also said in a recent press conference that they need to expand when they say in custody deaths with the medical examiner's office. There are others that were impacted by the activities between the medical examiner's office and the police because of the way they handle our cases, period. And when Dr. Fowler was testifying in the George Floyd case, I got a call from a forensic pathologist out of Texas. She says to me, she says, "Are you watching this?" And watching the nonsense that came out of that. So one thing that God has allowed me to do, I'm going to tell you a little more about Kathy's case, but also how the laws have been affected by the grace of mercy. I've had 3 laws in 3 consecutive years added to the books of Maryland, all having to do with the medical examiner's office, all of it. And I'll get back to that in just a moment. But getting back to Kathy's body was found at Arundel Mills Mall. Police ruled her death a suicide within 48. They Googled the manner of death while her body was still in the car. Let's back up a little bit.
Wow.
It came back a form of suicide and or murder. They jumped on the suicide. Within 48 hours, police had closed the case. On the same day that her body was found, the medical examiner had signed her death certificate. And so the things that and real quickly, the climate during that time in Anne Arundel County was a county executive back in 2012 had eventually charged with corruption, and the chief of police resigned in lieu of being charged. So you had this national scandal going on, and this Color Girls case comes in there that they screwed up at the death scene because they're operating from suicide, so they're not checking any other things. My daughter was a victim of marital fraud and worth $100,000 dead. They have yet today to question one family member. Her spouse, she was a victim of marital fraud. He had a $100,000 policy. He's now deceased as of about 1.5 years ago. And even before he died, he had yet to tell us that there was a $100,000 insurance policy on our daughter. So from that, what's this building on is building on the mistakes. It's building on the errors. My star witness was a police officer, because there's some good ones out there. My star witness was a 45-year-old veteran of law enforcement, of the Department of Justice. And the first thing that he said today was they screwed up when they got to the scene. They screwed up when they got to the scene. So they spent the next, still in it, covering up that. And if someone would ask, why would we be in 2025 and they still be fighting me? And I'm going to tell you this, and I know I should have said so many other things because of the total ridiculousness of what the police have done and the things that they will go through to cover their mistakes. And then once those mistakes are made, the entire agency locks in arms because they know there's been a crime committed, but they want to put out their own narrative and they want to control. And they also will allow, and it's just the way it is, they also will allow the rumors to fly. And your feeling unsafe is a realness. When I was in Maryland in the early years, there were times that I absolutely checked behind me, wondered who's out there in the car, know that there's things going on that they want you gone. They want you to disappear. It does not matter whether it's a white cop, black cop, purple cop. All cops are not good cops. There are some good ones out here. I have to say that. But there's some, but the bad ones are the ones that are problematic for us. In my daughter's case, okay, and I shouldn't be, I've told this thing 1,000 times, and I'm not going to get into the weeds, but just to tell you about some of the things that went wrong. Because I literally, and I think in this environment, I can say what another reverend said to me in bluntness. He said, you have them by the balls, and you've had them by them for years. Because in her case, I actually, when you're passionate, you will do whatever you need to do. And I filed a FOIA request, and they came back with charging me between $5,000 to $7,000. I said, I don't care if I got to sit on the corner and sell hot dogs and Kool-Aid. I'm going to pay whatever it is. And I wound up paying over about $4,000 some dollars when all was said and done. The point is this too. So the FOIA request, there was a release of over 9,000 pages. You hear me, Tawanda?
Yes, I hear you.
Most of it was fluff, but not one single page was from the year in which my daughter died.
Wow.
But what was in that were problematic internal communications, because they weren't expecting somebody to be smart enough to do that MPIA. So they were having conversations that were captured. That's why it's saying that I got them by the whatevers, because, and the thing about all of this is that we tell our stories, but nobody in a position to make a difference is really acting on it, because they think that it's us little Black girls or colored girls telling these stories of Black men and women telling, and they don't act on it. Now, in Kathy's case, they claim, they will tell you they did all these reinvestigations, which is a falsehood. It's a lie.
Yep.
And I would be ashamed to tell the public that in 13 years, they had gone through, they write 5 or 6 police chiefs. Your department went through 5 or 6 police chiefs in 13 years. There's a problem with that. I would be ashamed to tell someone that. So they do control this narrative, because in Kathy's case, when it came in, they already had a crisis going. They screwed up at the scene, so they wanted her case to go away. So someone issued an order internally from our documents that were released that basically said, and this is officers that told me what it really means when they read between the lines, if there's a reinvestigation to control the outcomes, that whatever they do, you make sure her death remains a suicide. And from that, internal communications show us that there were 1 or 2 officers, Officer Poole, I'm gonna do like Baby does. She names them Officer Poole, and I think somebody had Officer Carbonara's name on it, Keith Clark, whoever they are. Some of those officers actually suppressed and manipulated evidence to make sure that anything that led to Catherine Morris possibly dying by any other means than suicide, they suppressed and manipulated. Now, they didn't necessarily lie, but the truth they told you wasn't about the question that you asked. You see what I'm saying? You asked the question, is it blue? They're over there talking about how the house looks green, but that wasn't the question. You're not answering. So this is literally what they do, and some don't count on there being intelligent people with tenacity and determination that love our loved ones. And when persons that are impacted come to me and want to know, and they're get ready to go after the police, I tell them, I give them, and they'll tell you, Reverend Moore said it, play dumb. Don't go down there yelling at them and tell, play dumb. If you play dumb, they won't put up their defenses. You'll get more information because they think you're not too bright. But that's how we have to do sometimes. We have to do that. We know what's up, but let them think they got the upper hand. But anyway, getting back, because I know I don't have all night. So some of the mistakes that they made in this, and Mr. Davis, who was actually just trying to call me, testified to, was, first of all, DNA. They literally lied. The medical examiner's office put it out, or that they're working in collusion with them. DNA, only one DNA or no DNA. And we found an internal communication that said, test the DNA. We're going to have a problem with the results of the DNA. How do you know you're going to have a problem with the DNA before you test the DNA? That's what I'm trying to figure out. They only interviewed 2 people. One person that they interviewed in reference to my daughter's death, she had a degree in forensics. She didn't want her statement recorded. She gave them a false name and had an open warrant for her arrest. That's a drop the mic moment right there. But that is the only person, one of the 2 people that you question about Catherine Moore's death. And I'm not going to keep going on and on about that because I want to get to the legislative piece. But there were 4 video cameras in the parking lot where she died, because I want to get to why this is still important, and they're still jacked up about this. 4 cameras her body was found in her car in a parking lot at Arundel Mills Mall. 4 cameras. Out of 4 cameras, there was only 15 minutes of footage. They're blaming each other for what happened to the footage. 4 cameras, only one 15-minute clip from the camera farthest away from her car.
Queen, can you, Doctor, Morris, could you repeat that again? Because I don't know if it's going on the outside, but I know that part was broken up, and you're saying some real important stuff. So could you repeat that, please?
Yes, I said 4 cameras on at where her car was. The only footage was one 15-minute clip from the camera furthest away from her car. The first year, they said the footage was incompatible. That's why it wouldn't play. And when I say play dumb, they gave me a CD and they had said, take it to the FBI. I drove to Baltimore. I knew that was a dumb thing to do. And I went to Baltimore because we know you got to walk it out. So you say you did it. And the FBI said, why are you here? And so someone said to me when they looked at it, they said, there's nothing wrong with the footage. So we backtracked. Then they changed the story about the footage, that it was motion sensitive. So therefore it didn't record. But wait a minute. Can you hear me? Who's on first? These cameras were on a parking lot where there were hundreds of cars. You can see the cars sitting there. It's Saturday night at a movie theater. So you're going to tell me that nobody got in a car and left? Okay, let's fast forward. So in 2018, that's when they were pushed in a corner and finally said, for transparency purposes, the video was deleted in 2012. So these are the things.
Oh, sorry. Could you repeat that sentence again? I'm sorry, because it broke up a little bit again.
The video, that they claimed all these things with the video. In 2018, they came clean with it and said it had been deleted in 2012. That's 6 years after giving us the runaround about the video footage. There were GPS settings that were deleted from their files while ABC cameras were running. We did a comparison of extractions. Can you hear me? From her camera, from her phones and all. And with ABC cameras running, there was missing footage from the file the police gave me. Missing footage, missing files, because there was a PDF file. It was missing. And I was asked to go back and ask for the raw data files. Now, you know I never got them. We're going to leave that point because we don't have all night to be here. So there were so many things that I just want to make sure that I don't forget some of the points. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I want to make sure I get the points of the mistakes that they made as to why they're covered up. Because I'm going to tell you why this is still critical to them. This is the one that I love. This is one of my private investigators. In Catherine's car, first of all, none of the things that were used to end her life did they ever find a connection to, not even receipts. One of the officers said that there was no activity on her card, but that's a lie because they never asked mommy for it. You know what I'm saying? They subpoenaed falsely, whatever, even the subpoenas were jacked up because any of the receipts associated with her activities in the days before she died, none of them had anything on them that had caused her life. There also was a pill bottle. This is the thing that really gets me, because I do a presentation called the cover your ass mentality of corporate America when somebody dies. That is what Wanda and others are experiencing. We think they're here to help, and not everybody is, because they may have a heart to help, but the lawyers start lawyering up. You hear what I'm saying? And we think they're helping, but everybody's moving to cover their behinds because of that tragedy. And you and persons listening, I'm seeing mic check coming up. Are we still okay with Mike?
Oh yeah, no, when you speak in truth, they mic check. So yeah.
Okay. So the thing about it was there was a pill bottle found in her car. Now when the way Catherine died, there was a woman that had killed 3 people almost the same way. She was a Japanese woman. She had just been sentenced to death at that time, and she was sentenced to something. I won't call it death, whatever. But when they Googled it, it was in that stream, and it wasn't. And each time the police had ruled their deaths, these 3 men that died and ruled it a suicide. But it wasn't until the 3rd man died, and they couldn't find the keys in the car, that they realized that they were murders staged as suicides. So, and they would give them sleeping pills. So in Kathy's car was found a bottle of sleeping pills. And we're talking about fingerprints and all of that, right? Now, y'all can go to your medicine cabinets when you're off the line with Reverend Morris. You take out a bottle of medicine. You got to grip it with one hand. Let me say here, you got to grip it with one hand, right? And twist with the other. The medicine bottle in the car had no fingerprints on it. No fingerprints. Then we have to talk about really quickly the position of her body. If you go to my website, www.forkathysake.com, there's a graphic picture out there because I had to do the Emmett Till thing. I put the picture out there because I needed people, just like you're showing videos. I needed people to get the reality, because it was actually a police officer and a friend of mine that said, your daughter could not have done that to herself. You need to be able to look at those pictures and let people and do that. And so I had to get what it is, people, pull up my big girl panties and put the picture out there. So if you go to that website, you'll see it, because she couldn't have done that according to the death scene photos to herself. And I think on that part, let me talk about the medical exam, and then I'm going to go to the 3 laws that we did. The medical examiner did not follow protocol, and I'm not going to get into all the details, but she did not follow protocol. She was supposed to have done an investigation, questioned family, did A, B, and C before issuing anything. At the scene, she used the word, or when she talked to police, the word was used, suicide, the first hours of Kathy's death. Police, suicide. So everybody made that erroneous error in only looking for what would fit, because when you use a certain word, you work towards that mentality. So everything they were doing anyway was only to prove a suicide, not to do any other reasoning. So let me go very quickly to the legislative things that have impacted and that we're at now. Now, let me say this. I'm done with talking about what happened to her, because there's much more. You'll have to, I just don't want to tie you up all night, but let me tell you about the things of the laws that we were able to do, because it spun from this. This actually, my friends, started in 1992 with House Bill number 565. And that House bill gave people that law gave people the ability to appeal decisions made by the medical examiner's office. And prior to that, families like you all, there were families impacted by misconduct, and they had no way to appeal anything. So it started in 1992. In 1992, the Attorney General's office looked at that law and did say that there was a word missing. The law used cause and manner of death all through it, but in 1 or 2 sentences, it left out the word manner of death. Cause of death is the person died from a bullet wound. Manner of death is how was that wound inflicted? Did they shoot themselves or did somebody else do it? So cause and manner of death are 2 different things. So that was started in 1992. The AG office said they need to fix that, but nobody fixed that for 30 years. So here comes Mommy Morris along. Now I'm in here with the medical examiner's office. And in 2015, I filed for an appeal. When the law says when they turn you down, everybody listen to me if you may need to know this if you don't already. When you ask them to change it and they turn you down, you're entitled by law to a hearing. I asked for my hearing in 2015. They never gave it to me. I kept running back and forth to court. They kept getting dismissals because I hadn't had the hearing, but yet they weren't giving me the hearing. So it was in 2020 that I finally wrote a letter to the governor's office, and in 20 days, I had the hearing. The hearing happened 2020, 2021. From that hearing, they filed to, prior to the hearing, they filed to dismiss the hearing, to dismiss my ability to have the hearing on guess what? That one word that was missing from the law 30 years ago. They could use it to arbitrarily take people like you and I and deny us the ability to appeal what's happening at the medical examiner's office. So from that, the judge dismissed throughout their motion for the dismissal because she said the law, they had to look at what the law intended, not a word being missing. So from that, we got the first House bill for 565. I went after that, and I went and got sponsorship from Delegate Sandy Bartlett on bill number 9, HB 934, which put that missing word into the law. So now you can appeal the manner and cause of death. And it jacked them up. The state of Maryland, and they can hear me say this right now, is jacked up because nobody in 30 years had done what God allowed me to do. You're going to hear, and I've only got 3 more things that I'm going to get out of your way here. No one had done that. So they're right now, they're still scurrying because they put the law there in 1992, but the medical examiner's office, if you read the research, didn't anticipate anybody like you and I ever winning on appeal. It was only to placate the public. They didn't account it. So here comes somebody 30 years later. So we have House Bill number HB 934. Then, and it bothered me at that time, the next year I went back because this bothered me really, Tawanda. It did. I pray I'm not boring people.
So this is powerful information. Definitely.
The next thing that bothered me, and I kept saying who's on first all along, because see, when you're in, thank you for that. When you're in the midst of this, you see what's broken. These things were already broken before I came along, but I don't know. We just weren't in a position to challenge them. So I kept saying, who's on first? Before this, you had 60 days. 60 days with Tyrone, 60 days with our loved ones to not only know something was wrong, hear what I'm saying, grieve them, bury them, and then prove that there was a problem with them dying. 60 days. Now, I think they ought to make it longer, but went back and we got House Bill number, I should know all of these, 863, which took us from 60 days to 180 days. From 2 months, you now have 6 months to appeal the manner of death when you think something's wrong, A, X, Y, and Z, right? So then from that, we fast forward. And remember now, the police still have my stuff going. We're still fighting police over different things to do right by my daughter, because just because we're here in 2025, the battle is not over. So in 2024, they finally did a law. It's called the Catherine Morse Death Reclassification Act. And I think it's causing them problems. I know they're going to be doing something to fix this in the coming assembly. So that said, that if you got the medical examiner or them to change the manner of death to undetermined, then the law says that you have to reopen that case and leave it open for 20 years. You also have the right to ask the state's attorney to meet with you, and they have to tell you why they're not investigating, and a couple other things. So again, 969, cause of manner of death determination requirements after the change or correction of the Catherine Morse Death Reclassification Act. Now, what happened with that was there was a change that was made after the law came into effect. So it activated the law over Catherine's case. And I found that amazing. I said, my God, the very law that has her name on it is now used to do battle and cause her case to be reopened. And I'm going to get to the last thing on that part that they're doing that is very, very troubling. But let me tell you about this other case running parallel to mine real quick. The other case is a 40-year-old case, the case of Keith Warren. I have to mention this because Keith Warren was found hanging from a tree almost 40 years ago in Montgomery County, Maryland. They ruled that boy's death a suicide. His mother died along the way trying to get justice for him. His sister Sherry picked up the battle. And guess what? In August of 2025, his case has to be reopened under the Catherine Morse Death Reclassification Act because they made the change to the death certificate after the law came into action. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that may be, and that's why we had that press conference a while back, about a few months ago, when that audit came out, because there may be, I want to know how this plays into those that have been identified, thank you, God, as being homicides, possible homicides, and the medical examiner's office handled this. Now, the last thing that happened was, okay, we had to take them to court because the state agreed to open her case, but police who are mad at Morris, because if anything I've said to you, if you just remember this point, and this is right now, if they did the things that I just said, if there was an order issued internally that said control outcomes and officers acted on that, guess what? Even right now, that equates to obstruction of justice. That is why I believe they are locked in, that no matter what you do, You are not going to leave that Catherine Morris case where anybody can see it. So they conceded when we filed a court action, and I can't talk too much about it, to post. What they did was to reopen the case. So they reopened the case, but guess what? They're refusing to post her case on a cold case website. You reopen the case internally, so nobody publicly is going to know that the Catherine Morris case is now an unsolved, reopened, inactive case. So the whole point was to be able to go to the public and say, did you see something 13 years ago in that parking lot? And because you heard it was a suicide, you didn't come forward. Because let me say this, there was a young lady that contacted the police that night about seeing something in the parking lot, and they have never gone back and questioned her. She testified at the hearing, and the judge that heard that issued a 59-page order that these police, all this stuff was screwed up. They needed more information. She said she couldn't understand that. She could not understand why the medical examiner's office and the police, after getting all of this information, did not go back and pursue it. Why? Because if what the mommy has been saying that they're not acting on, if that order was real, that's obstruction of justice, and there's not qualified immunity with that. So with that, I think that I brought it to full focus here. What I need your help with, and the reason I'm here tonight, and thank you for letting me in, is because I want them to bombard, because this is still an open thing. If they are successful they filed a motion to dismiss the case because they said they've opened the case, but they've done that in bad faith. You've opened it, but if they're successful, the case will never see the light of day. No new law will help the case because it's not going to be retroactive. And all mommy is asking them to do, after everything you're hearing, there's two other things that I know I'm saying, I got to get these two last things into.
Oh, you're fine.
No, mommy's only asking the county to post it to the cold case website. That's it. Post it out there so people can see, so people can be referred back in the future. Hey, go out there and look at that case. Do you know anything? We can use that to go to other states, because the two people of interest are still out there. We know they're out there, to perhaps get the police department in another state to say, hey, that's an open case in Maryland, and look into it. We want to be able to create a reward fund for information leading to the arrest of someone in her death. So that's why I'm here tonight. I need people to share it out. I think they're talking tweets, Twitters. They've got the petition, but there's also a social justice piece of it. If you go to that I know that QR code's not going to take you there, but there is a social justice, sharing of things on media and with Twitter and all those things that we want it out there that people will be bombarding. Let me read it to you. County Executive Pittman's Twitter account, with asking him, demanding that do you have the other flyer that came out? There was a second flyer from social media. Do you have that one that's giving people the information about? Yes, there it is right there. Those. And I think there's one that goes to Stuart Pittman as well, because we want him to get it from anybody and everybody that can sit down, not only sign that, but just do the action that is really just, it's electronic movements. You all young people, y'all know that. Young people, old people, middle people, all you out there hear me. But that part is so critical, and it's right. This is critical time in the next 48 hours or so that we just pull this press, because he doesn't want that pressure on him. He's already acknowledged that they've lost. So why would they not want, in good faith, to post the case where people can see it? So that's my ask tonight, that you all help me with that. Again, go to her website. We're in this battle together. And I just want you all to know that. Thank you for this time and this space. And I don't know if you do questions or how this works, but thank you so much for listening. And I pray that I've said something that will help someone, because these things are real. They are. You all know that. We just need somebody to listen that has the authority to make a difference and know that we are not going away. Right, my queen? We are not going away.
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Can you hear me? Awesome. Yeah, because they playing on my phone again. They like, But that just let me know we real powerful. But yeah, that was a lot of information, important, and that's why like we've been boots on the ground. But real quick, do we have Khalil here? Because we got a whole lot of questions and comments, and I want you to get all the feedback that you need. And most importantly, we need to do this, guys. I need Lottie Dottie and everybody to start pushing these petitions and everything, because I'm gonna be blowing my page up, like
Thank you.
literally, like shared on any social media platforms that you own. Please just share it, because all I keep thinking about before I even met this queen, when my brother was killed and I had to go up against the medical examiner's office by myself, I had to go in my pocketbook. I didn't do a GoFundMe, didn't know about raising no money or anything. All I knew is you're not going to lie on my brother Tyrone West and say he died from a bad heart and dehydration after 154 days when I know he was brutally executed. And I took 50,000 of my own. It looked like I'm fading in and out. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, this is another point that you just reminded me of that I really, really needed to say, and it may help you. I don't know. It may. What I didn't realize was in the law, it said that if you prevail in the administrative hearing, that they're responsible for the cost. The state of Maryland doesn't know what to do because I served them with a bill, and they're scurrying to figure out how to pay that bill, or they're fighting me to avoid paying it. So again, the bill, because I've been in bankruptcy twice over this, because we're going to do whatever we need to do, sacrifice financially, whatever we need to do. And if they're fighting me, are they going to fight other people that file to be compensated? These things were delayed. Justice delayed has cost us tremendously when they could have done the right thing years ago.
Yeah.
They could have given me my hearing in 2015. So I figure you owe me from 2015 to 2025, and I figured I served them with a bill of over $200,000.
They definitely owe
I have
me.
no idea if I won't get that. I may not get it, but I should be getting something, because the law says in the medical exam. Now I'm not talking about it. I'm talking all this is within the medical examiners operating. The law says that if you prevail, whoever prevails in that hearing gets court costs, but they never had anybody do it. So now nobody knows what to do with that in Maryland. And I'll be quiet with that one. Thank you, Dara.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, they owe us big time. Like you said, they owe us big time. And again, our time is priceless, and it's not about the income, it's about the outcome. But they owe us big time. We should have not had to exhaust funds. See, like you said, they expect us to be ignorant of the law. We don't know anything, and then expect us to be poor black women where you can't. Like, it's hard to get $50 nowadays, less, because they didn't expect for me to bust them in the head and pull out 50 grand, because they extorted me out my money. Because when I looked at it, I'm telling you, they thought it was supposed to be, because I had already like looked at everything, added up my pennies. The whole thing all together was only supposed to total of $20,000. So I'm like, okay, cool. They kept exploring. They kept running the tab up. Let's go. And I told them, y'all don't. All I want is the truth. I want the truth. And the fact, sis, I don't know if I ever told you, but literally when I had my brother's body exhumed, we buried him with a white and black shirt on. He got flown to Alabama with a yellow shirt on. Literally. 2 years later, who in the hell put him on the yellow shirt? They did some horrific things to my brother, even down to covering up. And I didn't even know that, like, when your loved one, like, even when somebody's body is, like, still there, I didn't know people's hair still grow when you're dead and your fingernails still grow. I never knew that. I never knew that. Like, that was just like for me to learn like how long my brother dreadlocks had was still growing. It's probably still growing now, But it's just sad that, we had to go through so many horrific things to get you the truth. It's like rattling a Pandora box. That's why they don't want us to open it, because they know a lot of people gonna fall. That's why they did all the stuff, and that's why I started off, guys, telling you how, as closer you get to the truth, they will have you assassinated, eliminated, your character. They will do any and everything. So that's why I say, when you tell yourself, please believe us. But real quick, I want to check it because you got a lot. You got us lit up. Like, I ain't never see this many comments and questions. So we're going to go to the questions and comments real quick. And then from there, we'll just take it in because it's almost 8 o'clock. Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, we do have a lot of comments. Mic check from me. Pamela Brown commented with sad emojis. Mic check from Angela, Judah, AC Britt, and Mainism. I also commented, police count on us being quote unquote dumb or unwilling to challenge their made up narratives. I also said to you, Rev Morris, your tenacity is inspiring. This is the accountability that the state fears from us. We also have linked the website for Kathy's sake. Ansel Jones commented, mic check. Ansel also commented, this is the reason they made us fight to learn in school. I commented, thank you, Rev Morris, for your work. And AC Britt commented, I know that's right. They need to pay up. Mic check.
Thank you so much.
Mic check. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And like my queen, I just, like I said, commend you for your fight and everything. And like, see, the thing is, they don't prepare for us to fight for our loved ones, and we'll fight you. Like, we will fight you for our loved ones. And all the stuff that I learned about what happened to your baby, it is horrible. Like, that is terrible. Like it's just crazy. Like, the stuff, like, and I just commend you for doing what you do. And we're going to fight this together because it's our fight. Because when we went in this together, that's the whole thing. It's a win for everybody. And that's why I kept challenging the medical examiner's office, David Fowler, calling Bruce Goldfarb out. And I know he's watching my live feed, making his probably little ignorant comments. He needs to retract the truth. He is the devil's advocate. He works for David Fowler. And every time somebody want to investigate my brother Soy, Bruce Goldfarb always tell them, oh, well, you need, like, making up lies. Like, Bruce Goldfarb, you are a coward. Said it before, and I come back down there and say it to your face. Even though you probably don't even work down there no more. But all of them are corrupt. Like, it's disgusting. But I ain't even gonna get off because I got the Reverend here, Reverend Morris, right here, giving y'all church on a West Wednesday. So I'm gonna tone it down. I'm gonna keep it neat. I'm gonna keep it neat. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, my queen.
No, I want your audience to understand that, you know, sometimes people look at people and they think that they're all that, and I'm not. When I say that I sacrificed, I mean, bankruptcy, all of that is because I was going to do it for my daughter like you're going to do it for your brother. If it came between paying the mortgage or paying for something with the court or something that had to do with the investigation, I didn't hesitate because we got to do what we got to do. You know, and you know, and I'm just saying, you know, it's really been a battle, and I am encouraged by so many women like you and others that you travail, you encourage me. You're examples that keep me strong as we work together because we're going to do this. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So thank you so much for having me here. And I'm not sure if there were any other questions. No.
Yeah, so I'll check in real quick, and thank you for being here. You give me my strength as well, my queen. So, do we have any questions or comments from anybody in queue now? Mic check. And Khalil, like, if you want to ask any additional questions, or even Rachel, anybody want to ask Dr. Morris anything? I'm sorry, Reverend Morris, anything? Please feel free to ask her now. Mic check.
No questions here. I just wanted to, again, echo the sentiments that we're very much behind you, Reverend Morris, and we definitely want to support in any way that we can to keep pushing for the accountability that Kathy needs.
Please, I just want to know what happened to my child. I mean, all right, you're gonna. I don't know how to get out of this, so I think you're gonna have to put me out. No, if you're okay with me hanging in there, I'll just stay on. But if you've got other things to talk about,
please hold. Yeah, please stay in. Please stay in. Definitely. Like I love you so much. Like, please stay in. But yeah. So again, guys, like, this is real life. So all we're asking now is for you to share the information. And like all over your media, news feed, everything. Like, sharing is caring. It is very important. And again, doctor. I keep saying doctor. You need to be a
You want
doctor
to
because
know
all this
me.
information you got. That's why I throw a doctor or throw DR in front of your name. But Reverend Morse has shared a lot with us. Like literally, like she shared a whole lot. And I'm just so glad. Like when I thought it was little old me trying to fight and challenge the medical examiner's office, because they make these things feel like they're isolated incidents. And I kept saying that this is a racist piece of crap, David Fowler, that signs off on all this foolishness. And I said we should challenge every death, not just police in custody, every death on this racist piece of crap. And this is not Reverend Morris, this is not the West Coalition, this Tawanda Jones calling David Fowler out myself. You're a foul piece of trash. You need to be convicted. You need to be in a jail cell. Literally. Like y'all get off, y'all get the easy way out. They use their white privilege to get the easy way out. Him and Bruce Goldfarb, all of them need to be held accountable. They need to be arrested, like yesterday. Like, 'cause it's disgusting to do that to anybody's family. It's bad enough, we were already hurt from learning that our loved one is deceased. And then trying to figure out, like, oh my God, what happened? And then for you to cover it up and then to downplay, and then for a mother to have to fight like that, and y'all hide and suppress information, that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. And that's why I said all of this stuff is connected. They want us to make it feel like, oh, this is over here. No, all of it's connected because they don't care about us. They don't care about us. Like literally, they do not care. So I just want to thank everybody for their comments, questions, and everything. I think we got like 2 or 3 more. Kalia, could you please read the 2 or 3 comments that came? Then I saw something come up on my screen. Mic check.
Yes, the last 2 comments from Super Cardio. Thank you for being here, Rev Morris. And Judah Adashi also saying, thank you, Rev Morris.
You all are quite welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Yes, and we're so grateful. And this is not going to be the only time she's going to be back on here. And she was on a national outlet this morning. So you go. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, and more than that, I know your baby is looking down saying, that's my mama right there. Like, that's my mama. Like, she looking down. She's super proud. Like, we be suffering down here trying to fight like hell and maneuver work. Do everything that we have to do just in being a woman. It's just so hard for all of us. And then to literally have to fight for accountability and to get all the backlash that come with it. It's tough and rough. But I want to thank everybody for their comments and questions. And unfortunately, last week, we had over 40-something names on the sad list. I want to check in to see if anybody have the sad list for tonight. Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, we do. Rachel and I will be reading it tonight.
And I have the
awesome.
community list.
Oh, awesome. And our brother Brian is back. Wow, he's been gone for a minute. We missed you, my brother. I'm sorry that you have to always come on, like, with sad news or things like that. But, I'm just praying things get better for all of us. And again, for me to hear, all the stuff that's going on. Before I read the sad list, I just wanted to share, like, just sad news, just me watching the television and seeing all the stuff that happened with the young, beautiful teenager with her, that was her body, and then the guy that they had, and then the way, and I just want to say real quick, the way Fox 40 Live is downplaying that they don't care nothing about black people at all. Like, and I know Reverend Morris, you get a lot of interviews, but please, like, for your sake, for Kathy's sake, don't interview with Fox 40 Live. I'm telling you, like, I'm serious, like, because they do a lot of damage to us. Like, they will do an interview with you, take stuff and what they want and put it together and do it the way they want to do it. And it ain't doing us no accountability. It's sad and disgusting. And I just think about when the white woman was murdered, on the Ma and Pa trail. Rachel, her name was Rachel, and may she rest in peace because she didn't deserve, nobody deserves to be brutally murdered. And what happened to her was horrific. But the type of news, like broadcast, we heard about it every single day, all day long. And for a missing teenager to be murdered, and then they kept on talking about the immigrant and all this foolishness and about an illegal immigrant. Y'all ain't even hardly talking about that. It's just disgusting. That's like y'all hate us so much. Y'all don't even want to even talk about it. Like they'll talk 2 seconds for it and that's it. But we want the same thing Rachel got. They kept talking over and over about Rachel Moore, and I believe that was her last name. And I'm horrible with names. God forgive me. Please don't judge my heart. Please don't. Like, but the beautiful lady that was murdered, but they kept on humanizing her, saying how she was a mother, you know, of 5 beautiful children, all this. But yet, a beautiful 19-year-old, beautiful daughter of someone was actually murdered in a horrific way, and you say nothing about it. You say nothing about it, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, I just want to let everybody know we in times where we gotta love up on each other, y'all. Enjoy life, enjoy every moment. If we need y'all to help us fight in the right way, please help us fight. Push petitions because we could be pushing anything else. We just trying to get people from not going through the same thing we're going through. We did not sign up for a club that nobody signs up for. Nobody wants to be a part of this. Trust me, you don't want to be a part of this. So if you could be a part, just looking in and not feeling this direct pain, then you should be glad to help us out in any which way you can. And I love and appreciate y'all help. So please help us. Please share. Sharing is caring. So I thank my queen again for joining us. Reverend Morris, thank you so much for that fight and keep on fighting. And we fighting together. Like we hand in hand, holding hands fighting in this fight. And I also just wanted to say I'm not gonna read out mission statement, but I will say that when we read our sad list, we don't have any information about the names that we're reading. All we know is a victim. And like I said, nobody deserves to be brutally murdered. We know that we get one of our lists from a local news outlet as well as a national news outlet for the police brutality. But we don't have no, information, additional information about who was connected or nothing. All we know that someone was murdered. And again, nobody deserves to be murdered. Like, no one. That's just me. Like I feel in my heart like that's an evil act. That's not an act of God. That's just evil wickedness, and it needs to stop. Nobody. I wouldn't wish the pain that losing a loved one and me losing my cousin Tavon Anderson to community violence and losing my big brother to police brutality. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of pain. But the only difference is with the killer cops, they will cover up everything to make sure that that stuff is not, that Pandora box is not open. Just like with the medical examiner's office hiding the corruption and being prejudiced and don't care and then just pushing out black, oh, they just killed it. Don't even want to do a thorough exam, a final exam on someone. That's disgusting. Shame on you. But I can go on forever. But we as the West Coalition, we act off of love and kindness. We come from different backgrounds, different beliefs, but we do believe that there's one fight, one cause, and one purpose, and that's to end police brutality and community violence. We want to live in peace. We want to love on each other. We believe in mediation because if you can sit down at the table and discuss differences, then you can walk away. Somebody can walk away instead of handling in the street or doing any type of violent act. Violence that's not the answer. Because at the end of the day, when you do violence, and me personally hadn't gone to my cousin's murder trial, and I saw other people being charged, and to see different sides of a killer. They're connected to a family. The victim's connected to a family. And at the end of the day, the person that murdered someone, their family cares about them too. And they're heartbroken as well. And the victim that got murdered, their family is devastated and tore up, and there's nothing that you can say. They want accountability. So it's a whole sad case. So why put people through that when all you got to do is turn the other cheek and leave it alone? So with that being said, the time now I believe is 8:13. We're gonna come back at 8:15 with both of the sad. Let's start off with Brother Brian first. Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you. The time now is 8:15, and thank everybody like for tuning in and just staying here with us. And yeah, so I'm handing it to you, Brother Brian. Mic check.
Mic check. Thank you, Tawanda. So yeah, so my hard duty is to read off the list of people who died.
Brother Brian, are you on there? Because I can't hear you. Mic check.
Says I am trying to come through. Am I coming through at all?
I can hear you, Brian.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I just wanted to say that, you know, we have this list of people who were killed here in Baltimore. And, you know, each of those people, as Tawanda says, has family, has loved ones, has friends, has coworkers. Each of those people tears a whole world out of the community. And so we uphold their names to memorialize them, to support the people they leave behind, and to dedicate ourselves to this work of ending violence and particularly police violence, but violence overall in our society. So if you just echo these names back to me. Davon Hare.
Davon Hare.
Major Kip Smith.
Major Kip Smith.
Davion Hodges.
Davion Hodges.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother, and I'm sorry that I couldn't say their name because I could barely hear them. I don't know, but I'm glad everybody else can hear because apparently they're saying the names back. So I apologize that I'm having technical issues as always. But so moving right on. So now we're ready for the police brutality list. Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, starting off, I'll be reading the names of people that have been killed throughout the U.S. over a 6-day period from the 2nd of this month to the 7th. I'll be reading this with Rachel. I'll read the first 10 names, and then she'll read the last 9 names. And through this, of these names that we have, or those listed, we only have half whose names are given. The other 10, their names are being withheld by the police. So starting off on the 2nd of September in West Jordan, Utah, a 26-year-old male, Ethel Bowie Adam Idris.
Ethel Bowie Adam Idris.
Adam Idris.
Also on the 2nd in Macon, Georgia, a 43-year-old male, Cottrell Taiwan Ford.
Cottrell
Taiwan Ford.
Moving on to the 3rd of this month in Shattuck, Oklahoma, a 54-year-old male, Anthony David Edgman.
Anthony
David
Edgman.
Also on the 3rd in Carl Place, New York, 33-year-old male, James Rosano.
James Rosano.
James Rosano.
Also on the 3rd in Alexandria, Louisiana, a male whose name is unknown, or whose age is unknown, and whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer
Cell
cop.
blocks for killer cop.
Ashe.
Also on the 3rd in Centerfield, Georgia, a 29-year-old male, Aaron Michael White Touchette.
Michael White Touchette.
Michael White Touchette.
Also on the 3rd in Fountain, Florida, a male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks
for killer cops.
Ashe.
Also on the 3rd in Santa Clara, California, another male whose age is unknown and whose name was withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Also on the 3rd in Prescott, Arizona, All information about this person is unknown and withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Killer cops.
Killer cops.
Ashe.
Ashe.
The final name that I'll be reading so far on this list, on the 3rd again, in Mobile, Alabama, a 49-year-old male, Woodrow Messervy.
Woodrow.
Messervy.
And I'll pass the second half of this list to Rachel. Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you, Kalia.
Thanks, Kalia. On September 4th, in Cambridge, Maryland, a male of unknown age, name withheld by police. Cell blocks for killer
cops.
Ashe.
Also on September 4th, in Locust Grove, Georgia, a 29-year-old male, Stephen Lee.
Stephen Lee.
Also on September 4th, in Blue Gap, Arizona, a 40-year-old male whose name was withheld by police. Cell blocks
for killer cops.
Okay.
On September 5th, in Jersey City, New Jersey, a male of unknown age whose name was withheld by police. Cell blocks for
killer cops. Ashe.
Okay.
Also on September 5th, in Reddick, Florida, a 25-year-old male, DeMonte Shilek Shannon.
DeMonte Shilek Shannon.
Shannon.
On September 6th, in Alton, Texas, a 51-year-old male, Paulino Guerra Jr.
Paulino Garrett Jr.
Garrett Jr.
Also on September 6th, in Chicago, Illinois, someone of unknown age, sex, or whose name was also withheld by police. Cell blocks for killer cops.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Also on September 6th, in Boone, Indiana, a male of unknown age whose name was withheld by police. Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
And on September 7th, in New York, New York, a 35-year-old male, Justin Coleman.
Justin Coleman.
And that concludes our list for this evening.
Thank you, my queen. I want to thank Reverend Morris. Thank you so much. Your work is not in vain. We love you. This is our fight. And I promise you, since I met you, whatever you need, I'm here for. And you've been in my corner, so we're going to fight this together. And I'm just super proud of you. I want to thank Kalia tonight for coming on. Brother Brian, I want to thank Rachel. You know, always the woman before and behind the movement with our brother Ben, who hasn't been here in a while. But I just want to thank the whole entire West Coalition. Just thank you guys. I want to thank everybody that sent comments tonight and everything and all the love. And if you said a prayer or just said nothing but positive energy, thank you for your time, because I know any of y'all and everybody could have been doing something else. But the fact that y'all right here with us, that means the world to me. That's priceless, because you remember, this is a day that we never saw before. This is a day, unfortunately, that we will never, ever see again. So with that being said, take none of your time for granted. Take nothing for granted. Enjoy the fact that you can open your eyes, that even if in your sadness, enjoy the fact that you have feelings, because some people can just do so much of stuff and they don't even have any conscience. They could just do cruel, evil stuff and go back and bite a burger. So I'm just praying. This is not the West Court, it's just Tawanda, a woman of God that believes in God. I'm praying for us right now. We're in the spiritual warfare, I believe, and God is the answer, and He directs my path, and that's the only reason why I'm able to do and move the way I move, because had it not been for the grace of God, I wouldn't be able to do anything. So I want to thank you guys. Live to love, love to live. I love you all. Stay tuned. Unfortunately, we got to play the second half of the video, but we will see you guys next West Wednesday. And please share all this stuff. Don't let Reverend Morris visit here tonight. all the powerful stuff, the information. She risked it all to give it to us. She risked it all to give it to us. What we going to do with what she gave us? This wasn't for no entertainment. Please share, guys. Please share. After I get off here, I ain't even home yet. As soon as I get home, I'm going to upload the stuff. Please start sharing it. Please share. That's all we ask. Share. Because at the end of the day, Kathy is everybody's daughter. Tyrone is everybody's son. Timothy Fleming is everybody's son and brother. Anthony Anderson, the list goes on. Love you guys. Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West begging for his life. And Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No, why you want to talk to me? Why would you say that?
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the gun trace task force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's attorney see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.